Hello guys, Nigel here with you, and back at the bench, and I've got another review for you today for some products that Ed has kindly sent me from Premium Hobbies. Ed's down in Weston-super-Mare, and as I always say when I do these reviews with Premium Hobbies, don't forget NMB10, that's Nigel's Modelling Bench 10, will get you 10% discount on anything you want to buy from him. So go take a look, premiumhobbies.com or .co.uk, and he's got lots and lots of stuff on there, and you can buy all your bits and pieces off him. So first of all, I'll show you, he sent me some more of these sticks because my sticks are starting to wear a bit thin. So these are the Infini Matador sticks. These things are absolutely amazing. Here's the original one, which I believe is probably a good 6 months old now. This is a 400 grit, and it's still usable. If you notice, it hasn't got any wrinkles in it. The edges are still good. It's remained flat. Got a bit of a pulled up edge there, but it hasn't gone all wrinkly like the these skinny sticks. I haven't got a wrinkly one here to show you, but they tend to wrinkle up, and unfortunately it's pretty much unavoidable because it's designed to be flexible, so it's going to wrinkle up. These haven't. Some of the harder sticks do wrinkle up, but these haven't at all, and I'm really pleased with them. Very good indeed. You can wipe them on your jeans, you can give them a wash because you can use them wet or dry. Absolutely brilliant. Really impressed. So Ed asked how I was getting on with them, and I said, you know, the 400 and the 600 is starting to wear out a bit, but the rest are fine. So he sent me a pack, and you can see here you can buy them in a pack of 400s or a pack of 600s. You don't have to buy the full set. So that's really good to see. And I also said that my zebra sticks, this is the set. I'm not sure if these are available individually, you have to buy a set, but he's basically sent me 2 sets of them, so lucky me. So we've got 100, 150, 220, 400, 600, 800, and I love these. Here's the one I use the most, the 400. Again, you can see it hasn't wrinkled up. It's fairly hard, it's fairly flat, very good for square edges and stuff. But the thing is with these, and I did comment when I first used them, when you first use them, they seem to just wear down, woof, straight away, and then they stay there. So if you look back a few months at my first review, I wasn't very happy when I first used it. It wore out very quickly, but since then it just hasn't worn out anymore. Well, I'd say it hasn't worn. It's obviously worn out some more, but it's kind of it kind of goes from a 400 grit to a 600 or 800 grit in sort of 1 minute, and then stays there for weeks. So you know, it's a bit funny, but basically, you know, they're really good for stuff like this, for doing square edges where you want it to remain flat, you know, or if you're really fussy, just go in one direction. But they're really good for larger, flatter areas, or like for standing fuselage halves or bombs or drop tank halves or whatever. Really good for that because they're hard. That's what you want. If you start using these, you know, the softer sponges and stuff, you'll start to radius off the corners. So there we go. So that's that. Now, as you know, we've got an upcoming build of the, I almost said Airfix then, of the Tamiya 124th Mustang GT4, which is a very favourite car of mine. So he said that he had this colour coming in from Splash Paints, and this is the light base Abyss Grey SP358. So that's the actual colour, Abyss Grey, the actual colour for the Mustang. Now, in the Mustang's instructions, they tell you to use XF63 or TS4, which is an aerosol, and then you put a gloss varnish on it. This one you don't need to. You obviously put a gloss varnish on it, but I don't think using XF63 is quite correct, because if I shake this up a bit, I'm not sure the grey is settled in the bottom, but you will see, if I can capture it, it's got a very slight metallic to it. Now Ford, with their paints, I used to have a Focus RS, and that was nitrous blue, and that had this kind of almost pearl effect in it, so that, you know, on a dull cloudy day it looked like blue. It looked like grabber blue, very similar to the top of this Mr. Cement S. But as soon as you got the sun on it, boom, it really came to life, and you had this metallic. I've now part exchanged that. I've got a Ford Ranger Raptor, and that is in Conquer Grey, which is a very similar colour to this. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same, and apparently that's metallic, so I'm looking forward to seeing that in the bright sunlight and seeing how it looks. But that's the Abyss Grey for the Mustang. And here's the clear coat. This comes in a 2-pack clear coat. You can see on there, mix it 3-to-1 with the hardener. And believe me guys, when you're painting this stuff, you need a mask, you need the window open, you need extraction on, you need to do it outside, whatever. You really don't want to be breathing this stuff in. It's got isocyanates in it, and really not good for you. So he's also sent me these two here, which are a black surfacer and a light grey surfacer. I'll be using the black because obviously if you're going to put the light grey on top of the grey primer, you're going to end up with thin spots because you're not going to see what you're doing. So basically I'll be using the black, and these again, they're a lacquer primer, and they've called them surfacers, so I can only assume they're going to be very much like Mr. Surfacer, so we shall see. And then I've also got the lacquer thinners here. I need to get in touch with them and find out if this can be used with all of these paints or not, so I need to get in touch with that and ask the question. Oh, I've got some porthole jigs here, just to let you know they're available again if you want porthole jigs for your Titanics, guys. And then we've got the, they're not available from Premium Hobbies, by the way. So we've got the Saizo curve line tape. Now, I've never heard of these, and I can only assume these are flexible tapes. And he sent me these, so we shall see how we get on with those. And he has also sent me this one, which is a remove before flight masking tape. And I can only think this is like a gimmick for when you're modelling. It's I can only imagine it's just a paper tape with remove before flight printed on it. So we shall see. We'll have a look at that one in a minute. And then finally, he sent me this. This looks really good. This is a flexible masking agent, masking medium, and it looks like you can kind of stretch it over canopies. You can put it on wings and then mark, draw through it and cut through it, so you can do camouflage. And also they're showing here that they're pushing it into a headlight, so you can push it in and then cut around it, so it would go over a sort of a convex headlight lens. So we'll have a look at that in a minute and we'll give that a test. So let me get all this stuff unpacked and we'll give it actually a go. I'm not going to be doing anything with the paints at the moment. I'll do that when we do the Mustang. So I'll cover everything to do with those paints when we do the Mustang. But everything else, which I've got here, I'm going to look at now. Right, so let's start with this remove before flight tape. I haven't opened the packet. I've done a Google Translate on my phone, and we can see here that it says on here, if you want to read this, that's basically the translation of what's on the back of the, that's the back of the pack, that's what's on there, and it's saying don't use it for masking. And it actually says, to be fair to Ed, I must email him, it says on his website it's a remove before flight masking tape, but at the end it says do not use for masking. So I got a feeling it's just like a kind of gimmicky tape that you can use to seal stuff up on your bench or whatever. I don't know, if you want to tape something down. So yeah, it's not a masking tape. It looks like what they're saying here is that it will bleed. So yeah, not suitable for long-term storage. It's a paper tape with a title for Kashima, do not use for painting purposes, and it also says don't leave it in the sunlight. So there you go, you can use that for whatever you like. You may use it, you want to use it around on your dioramas or whatever, if you've got or a particularly large scale aircraft, you could make remove before flight tags from it. So I don't know, but yeah, so there you go. That's remove before flight tape. Next we're going to look at these curve line tapes. These are Saizo packets here. Saizo curve line tape. We've got a 5mm and a 10mm here. They also do a 3mm, but he hasn't sent me that one by the look of it. So I don't know why. Maybe he doesn't like me anymore. But yeah, I don't have the 3mm. But if you wanted to, the thing is, if you're on a tight budget, buy the 10mm. You can always stick it down on your bench, and then you can cut it to what size you want, or you can use one of the cutting mats like this one here. So you could perhaps put some of this down on here. Let's just put some down here like this. Okay, so we can come along with a knife, cut through the end like that, cut through the end there, peel that away, and we've got our tape there. Peel that away, we don't need that bit, and then what we can do is come along with our knife and go down the edge here. And then if I'm in the 1mm slot, no, I'm in the, yes I am in the 1mm, let's go this side, 1mm slot. So we come down here, that's your 1mm cutaway there. So that piece is actually scrap, we don't want that piece. So we can take that away, like so. So that one's gone. And then if we want a 3mm, go 1, 2, 3, count across, and then we can just cut down there, and we will have a 3mm wide piece of masking tape. There we go. Now I know this stuff looks like Tamiya tape. It's very, very similar in colour. You can see, but it's not actually like a paper tape. You can see how this stuff, you can kind of see through it. This you can't. It's like a vinyl. It's almost like a very thin vinyl tape, and it has some great capabilities of going around curves. So if I'll just show you on here. Let's go on here because it's a bit, this is all very, very matte and sanded up and rough. So let's go on here. I can put this down and then I can curve it around as I go, and it doesn't all wrinkle up. You will see. Let's get some tweezers so I can hold the end. Where's the tweezers? Mr. Not Prepared. Here we go. Let's just grab the end and I can pull it around and press down. You can see you can get a nice curve there with no wrinkling. So I would have thought this stuff would be really good for like when you want to do the nose cone of an aircraft or a bomb or something. You know, using the Tamiya tapes, it's always quite difficult, but with this stuff I think we would actually be able to do a straight line. I think this would also be fantastic on spinners when you're doing the German spinners, you know, with the spiral on the spinner. So we're going, that's not perfect because I haven't done it right. Nothing, no fault of the tape, and it sticks extremely well when you consider this has been stuck to the, well, I've tried it once, then it's been stuck to the cutting mat, then it's been stuck to that wing, and now it's being stuck to this, and it's still going down. So you can see there we've got a nice straight edge around there without the tape all wrinkling up. And also the other thing is you've got the Tamiya vinyl flexible tapes you can use, but they are quite thick. So I do very much like this. It's a very nice, very thin kind of vinyl tape. So worth a try, guys, even if you just buy the one roll. Really, really worth a try, because even on straight stuff it is very, very thin. I don't know if I can get this on the camera so you can see just how thin it is, but it is extremely thin. So yeah, really, really nice, really, really nice tape. And also what I don't know is if I take a piece off of here, like so, if we put it on here and start to pull it and stretch it at the same time, I'm really giving this some, I'm really tugging on this. There we go. So we'll leave that there for 5 minutes and we'll see if it shrinks back. If it all starts to pull up on these outer edges, we'll know that it's shrinking back, but you can see it's gone round there. Lovely. So let's leave that there for a minute. We'll look in a sec. So next thing we look at is this this tape. Now this is basically a stretch masking film, and it's a clear film. You get 2 sheets and it's 140 by 100 millimeters for each sheet. So I've cut a piece off here. It's a nightmare to get off the backing paper because it's so thin, and as you can see I don't have any nails and they're dirty because I've been working on my Land Rover. But basically I've got an old canopy here, so basically what they're showing on the top of the, they're showing on here, you can use it for canopies. So let's just see what it's like. In fact, what I'll do is just do one side because I haven't cut this wide enough. I didn't want to waste it. So obviously if we use normal masking tape, we'll get all this wrinkling up like you can see here. So let's see what this is like. So we should be able to pull this down like so. You can see that as I pull it, it's pulling the wrinkles out. I've got wrinkles here, so if I pull it, the wrinkles come out. We're going to pull this up on this side now. There we go. This stuff's good. This is really good. As you can imagine, this canopy is a compound curve. I'm just wondering, it might be better to go from end to end rather than from the side down. And I also think if you had a hairdryer, if you warmed it, it would probably go down really, really well. In fact, if you put it on like this and then warmed it, but I think you get the idea. That is going down on there. Got a bubble in there. It's going down on there beautifully. Yeah, as you can see, with a little bit of work, and I think with some warming, you would have no trouble at all getting that to lay in there completely flat. I'm going to grab a cocktail stick, this one here, just push it down into the corners there. You can see the wrinkles are just falling out. And then here I'm going to give it another tug that way. And I'm able to push that into those corners, stretch out the wrinkles. There we go. And I guess really what you could do is start down here and work your way up, because if you've got wrinkles here, it doesn't really matter, it's the edges you want nice. So let's just try that. If we come along to this edge, actually you could probably reuse this again and again because it's sort of slightly misshapen but not crazily so. So if we come down here and start on the edge, so we've got a nice straight sharp edge to work with. Push my nail into that corner and then we can pull the tape over the top and perhaps do it in two halves rather than trying to do it in one on a compound curve like that. But you can see that's pulling down in there. And I must say the adhesive is it's incredible. It's very strong indeed. There's one other thing we'll check before we move forward. We will check that it doesn't leave any residue, because the last thing you want on a lovely polished canopy is to come along and find you've got a load of residue left. And the other thing this would probably really good for, if you've got something like a Junkers 88 with the nose with all the glass, you could probably stretch this over and then cut it around and remove the framework. So you could leave that like that and then put another piece over this side, because it's the edge that matters. You're not worried about the you're not worried about if it's wrinkled up here. So I don't believe this knife is very sharp, but we'll see. We can come down this edge, cut it in like that. And then we can go over the top. Now there's not a very good demarcation here, so let's just see how we get on. But we're not looking for perfect masking, we're looking how this stuff performs. As I say, I need a new blade in my knife, to be honest. But it's good to see how I get on with a not so perfect blade. You know, some of these trials we set them up in perfect situations, and as we all know, life isn't always perfect. So there we go, that's with a pretty blunt blade. That's worked out really well. That's a pretty easy way to mask a canopy. Okay, and as I say, you could then come along with this side and mask this in separately. You could just pull that up and trim that out of the way, and then put another piece of tape on this side, and there you go. The wrinkles up here, as I say, don't matter at all. But yeah, lovely. I would definitely be using this. Very nice indeed. And I do just want to see. Okay, I've got a 1/48 scale Junkers 88 glazing here for the nose. And you can see we're using this tape time and time again, which isn't probably the best thing to be doing. But basically I can stretch that over there like so. I can feel that it's better because I'm holding it and making it warm. I can feel it's really making it work. So I think if you have got a hairdryer, set it on really low, just warm it a bit, or even just, you know, do it in the sun, let it get a little bit of warmth into it. And to be fair, I mean, this has had my greasy mutts all over it. It's been used already twice on that other canopy. And yet it's still kind of sticking down. It's kind of given up down here, the glue, but it's working up here. So what you could do then is come in here with your knife and trim out all your panels like so, and then when you remove the tape, you could do that in all your panels. It'll just leave the panels covered, and you can paint your frames then. So yeah, all in all, a very nice product. There has been similar products in the past. There is a medical product you can use, but it's not readily available. It's only available in hospitals. So unless you're a thief, I don't think you can get hold of any. But we can see here that's gone down lovely there where the glue is pretty fresh. Whoops. As I say, this isn't an exercise in how to do masking. This is an exercise, it's an exercise in masking, but it's not an exercise in how good my ability with a knife is. So we can come away. Yeah, and you can see it hasn't peeled that original one off, so you could do it piece by piece if you wanted to. You can see we've got 2 panels there masked. Just try again, and it doesn't peel off. That's really, really good. So it doesn't stick to itself as well as it sticks to the plastic. So you could do this, as I say, a panel at a time. And if you do find it's wrinkling up, then do the front parts, pull the tape away, and then do it again. Bloody good product. Really, really good. So really, really chuffed with that. Now let's have a look at this tape. And you can see it started to lift here because I stretched it so much. I mean, I stretched it more than you would ever stretch it on your model. You wouldn't be able to stretch it that much on your model, you'd break it. But again, we'll just see what it's like on here. Unfortunately, this bomb has no panel lines on it, with dropped out, should I say. But you can see it's held the curve and it's pulled those decals off because they weren't properly prepared. But we should be able to go around here. Let's get a new piece. Okay, so I found another drop tank now. So this is going to be a better test for it. Let's just say we want to put a nice demarcation line around there just in front of those filler ports. So if I come in with the tape now, what I'm going to do is line the back edge of the tape up with this line so it ends up parallel on the front. So I'm just pulling it around. And there we go. You can see I'm able to push that back down in there, and all the wrinkles are disappearing. You can see what you can see wrinkles. They're not actually wrinkles, they're lines. So basically you can go in there, paint that, and then quickly get the tape off. You'll find with any of these elastic tapes, over time they will pull back, so you don't want to be hanging around. So you can use this piece again now on the back end. Let's just see how it works here. Let's go the other way round. So we're going to go around here, nice and straight. Yeah, you can see this back edge is lifting here. So what you would do in that case then is you would come along, we've got a curve in it now permanently, you would come along and you would take your knife and make a thinner piece of tape. So just to show you, it doesn't need to be perfect, this is all over the place. So we can come along now, we've got our straight edge. So we can go round nice and straight. Like so, even though our tape's not straight on one edge, we can use the straight edge to mask. So there we go, that's a godsend for stuff like nose cones, bombs, stuff like that. So yeah, really, really good product. But as I say, you really want to don't go masking it for a paint job you're doing tomorrow. You want to mask it, use it, because when you start to stretch these tapes, they will start to pull back. So there we are, and we'll just have a look again at this, how well it performs on its curving bit. bearing in mind this is matte paint, which is all rough and horrible. And there we go, able to do that curve like that. So you could use it for, you know, your British aircraft camouflage if you want to mask it. I generally do mine freehand, but yeah, really pleased. So some great products here from Ed, thank you very much. The only one I don't understand is this one, but I'm going to speak to him and find out exactly what it's for, and if there is something really good about it, I'll let you know in another video. But been really good for like if you had a diorama of, say, an F4 sat there on a base, you know, a piece of this across the corner and moved before flight would look pretty cool. Anyway, there we go, guys. Thanks for watching. Check out premiumhobbies.co.uk or .com. I can't remember which one it is now. It's .co.uk. There's a whole section on masking. He does all these paints and everything, and you've got all these splash paints there as well. So, and this colour here, I believe this is the only paint available in this country. You can see the metallic in it now. You can see the gold metallic in it. So, yeah, using your TS4 or your XF63 is incorrect. So, yeah, there we go. Have a look on Premium Hobbies website. Don't forget NMB10, you get a 10% discount. I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.